Okay, so everyone, today's session is on group discussion. Well, the ground rules are such that you'll be given two topics. So we'll have two rounds of group discussions. Okay, in the first round, you'll be given two topics, and you'll be given the leads respectively. And all of you will collectively choose one of the topics, whichever you feel the most comfortable and think you can actually give the best of you in that discussion. You just choose that. So, out of these two topics, we'll choose one of them and we'll start discussing on that for the next 20 minutes. Ideal is that all of us collectively come down to one conclusion from the given leads in the first round. Okay, for 20 minutes we'll have this discussion. After that we'll have one more round of group discussion, which is going to be on any of the social issue. Now here no choice will be given, so the topic that is given to all of us, that is what we have to discuss on, and we do not necessarily have to come down to any conclusion in the second one. All right. So in the first one, I will repeat the topics twice if you want me to, but we need to come down to a conclusion. Ideal is that we do come down to the conclusion. All right. Any doubt?
So in second round, we have just to give our points and not conclude anything.
No, you don't have to come down to any conclusion. You just have to discuss it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we are in. I'll be telling you your first topic. China's foreign policy has widened the scope of its development. In what ways does it affect India? Number one, it will intensify the rivalry with Pakistan. Number two, influence the economy of India. And number three, will dominate South Asia. I will also send the topics for your convenience, but I'll repeat it once again. China's foreign policy has widened the scope of its development. In what ways does it affect India? Number one, it will intensify the rivalry with Pakistan. Number two, influence the economy of India. And number three, will dominate South Asia. Clear? I'll go on to the next topic. Just give me 1 second. I think someone was there.
Can
Okay.
you repeat?
I will. China's foreign policy has widened the scope of its development. In what ways does it affect India? And the leads are: number one, it will intensify the rivalry with Pakistan. Number two, influence the economy of India. And number three, will dominate South Asia. Okay. And your second topic is: the number of officers in armed forces is less than the required level. In your opinion, how can this count be leveled? And the leads are: using social and telemedia to motivate the youth. Number two, making the selection process lenient. And number three, increasing the officers' recruitment from the ORs. Now, I am sending these for your sake on the group as well. Meanwhile, which topic do you all think you would be comfortable in?
I think first one is better.
First one.
First one. I think first one because we will be able to cover like India, China, and Pakistan, all the three factors. That will be helpful for all of us.
So, all in for the
I
China
think the
discussion.
first topic is appropriate and third lead is good enough to discuss on as we need to discuss the domination of Chinese on the world and how it want to become the superpower.
So, everyone agreed on that.
Yes.
The first one, all right. Just for your sake, you still have the topic on your groups, respective groups, with the leads, right? So, we may discuss the time. I started the timer. Initiate, come on. No, no, I won't be pinpointing one by one. We can just start
Yeah, I
discussing.
think the China's foreign policy will eventually dominate the South Asia. Reason being, one of the key developments of China is string of pearls. String of pearls is basically surrounding India by occupying ports in various nations such as Myanmar. One is Hambantota in Sri Lanka. One is Gwadar in Pakistan. So for India, it is a kind of a threat since it will strategically be very will be very strong point for China when there's a need of a conflict in the need of conflict. So I think that is one major issue that India will face.
Adding to the previous speaker, I would like to add, as China's policy through LOC, we can see two sea threat. It is taking Pakistan's territory and India's territory as well to directly conquer the Middle East, where like our relationship with Middle East is quite good, and we are still increasing as we have seen the recent discussion with our with our Oman counterpart. So we can see that rivalry with Pakistan can hamper us as Pakistan and China is on the same team, and we have a threat for both Pakistan and China.
So we should not forget about the POK thing, because China has been supporting Pakistan in UN meetings, saying that Pakistan occupied Kashmir is the part of Pakistan. However, we know that it is an illegal part of Pakistan, and it belongs to India. So China is basically supporting Pakistan because it has started with the plan that they're gonna build a road from they're gonna build a highway from Beijing to Gwadar in Pakistan. So this will easen up their trade, and it will connect them with this Africa and Europe very easily. Instead of instead of going through sea routes, they can actually go through land routes, and it will also easen up their fuel costs.
I think adding to Krutik's point, it is you were talking about China-Pakistan economic corridor. Yeah, that will definitely boost the economy of China by connecting it directly with Middle East and Africa. Also, one point is that since the CPEC goes through only a particular northern portion of Pakistan, so there's a lot of development along that side of Pakistan. Whereas the other part is being ignored. So there's also a civil war kind of between the people, since there's a particular development in only the portion that is in the CPEC area. And this civil war will directly affect India because there's an unrest in Pakistan, and due to an unrest in Pakistan, there's directly going to be infiltration since there will be no stability. So direct terrorism will increase towards the Indian side. I think everybody
Gentlemen,
must
South
agree with the point that China.
Chinese aggression is expanding.
Please go on, Naresh.
I think everybody knows about the point that Chinese always want to be a superpower. Uh, Earlier, they had a vision that after 100 years before 100 years, they want to become a superpower, and they're developing initiatives like Belt and Road initiatives, and they want to establish a clear supreme power in the South Asia. So I believe they are facing issues, and they want to conquer the geographical issues so that they can establish a clear diplomacy.
I agree with Sarthak, and Chinese is expanding its region by putting up aggressive policy, and it is increasing its diplomacy in South China Ocean by increasing its EEZ, exclusive economic zone, by creating artificial island all over the Chinese Ocean. But India is countering the domination of China by sending its naval forces, and with help of US Navy, we are doing freedom of navigation in all over Chinese Ocean.
Yeah, I think
I
one
I
would
of
like
think
to
the
say, I would like
major
to
I would
issues
say,
like
that
to
Naresh
ask
sir,
to counter China and with Japan in the Quad exercise or the Malabar exercise. We have also shows a presence in the South China Sea, which can also hamper Chinese counterparts.
I agree with Supriti as she shared about the Quad. We are working on pressing up China using all four nations: Australia, uh,
Japan,
India,
Japan, US,
Japan,
and
and
Malaysia.
USA.
Yeah.
I think
Also, I would
India's
like to
India's initiative of
add up. Yes, Samar, go ahead.
go ahead, you go ahead.
Yeah, so one of the also major issues is the Taiwan issue. Since we all must have heard the news of China, regularly intervening the airspace of Taiwan. Now, which is a major issue for not only surrounding nations but all over the world. Since Taiwan is the 99% producer of chips, and chips are major requirement of all the nations, since every technology, be it cars, be it computers, be it everything electronic, is based on the working of chipsets. And if China by chance acquires the Taiwan, then it will definitely have a major boost to the China's economy and its power. So it's a threat to other countries as well. So
I agree with Shaurya. As he said,
I
Taiwan is
think
a
I
big manufacturer of semiconductor, and US Navy is helping it by putting up aircraft carrier in near to Taiwan Strait, and India is also working on bringing up many manufacturing industry to create semiconductor in India itself. With recent deal that Modi have done in USA of inviting a Macron company to India, and Japan is converting its self-defense force into armed forces
I
and
agree with the
expanding
race.
its.
I
It
agree
is
with the race
important
point,
that
but I
we
would like
turn
to
our
add
neighbors
one
into
point.
allies. We turn our aggressive neighbors into allies because we have already seen in the past that China sent its navy to Sri Lanka, and using its recon ships, it was tracing our missiles which were being launched from Andhra Pradesh, test missiles. So it is important that we maintain good relationship with Sri Lanka, and yeah.
I would like to
I
add.
think
As
that
Riddhi have said that she agreed with me, I would like to tell about three military theater command that we are creating. Two are created as land military theater command, and one is maritime command theater command, which is created in Andaman itself to counter China in Strait of Malacca.
Malak State.
China is
I agree
using
with the race point.
peptide
I would like to add one more
looking
point.
for
I would like to add one more point here.
example
That
like in Sri
that
Lanka
the initiator
and
of
in
Sagarmala
China.
project.
They are apart from this, they are in Taiwan. They are claiming Arunachal Pradesh as a part of South Tibet, and in Japan also they have made this artificial islands that Naresh mentioned before. And apart from that, this one belt one road initiative of China is used as a as to camouflage their reason for camouflage for dominating the South Asia region.
It
And
traps.
great points added by
I
Apart from
agree
Shaurya,
with
but I would
Sri.
like to add a
apart
point
from the
that
artificial
everybody has
islands.
mentioned about the thing that everybody know in that South Asia is dependent completely on China. It's as we know that there are so many factors like cost and everything. So I think China is making friendship with its India's rivalry like Pakistan. They are winning the trust of weak countries so that they can easily establish a great they can easily establish a great mutual bond between them. And India is acting like a big brother. That is, they are helping small nations like big brother policy. They are sending vaccines so they can establish a great bond between the nations.
I would
I
like
agree
to
with
add
Sri
one
as
more
he have
point
said
here.
about village of
For
Arunachal
an
Pradesh.
self-reliant nation, we can say China has the highest level of toy industry. But recently, due to Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliant India, we are like actually focusing on our self-reliant toys. So we are actually like due to like our huge population right now in the top we are now. So due to a huge population, we are actually hampering the toy industry.
I agree
I
with
would like to
Shri
add.
point. Shri
I would like to
told
add.
about Arunachal. Shri told about Arunachal that Chinese is putting up aggression in Arunachal area, but India have countered it by creating a vibrant village program in Arunachal to modernize the village nearby to the border and increase the communication and other facilities in that area.
I
And
would.
recently, Home Minister Amit Shah have inaugurated few modernized village in Arunachal Pradesh.
I
Okay,
want to
Samarjit,
add
go
a
on.
point to the Nanderesh's point that apart from that vibrant village program, India also initiated as that Bharat Mala project, which is basically connecting the border lines of Pakistan and China, which will drastically stop that aggression on our territories, Indian territories, because as they know, Chinese what they do, they like as you mentioned about vibrant village program. that is develop more villages or more cities around that the territories. So the number of territories when increased there, so it will be
It will
considerable
lessen
part
the
of
time
that.
for deployment and mobilization.
Also there's uh, what China, how does it occupy other nations? It's basically they weaken, they spot the weakened nations like Pakistan, Sri Lanka, where there's political instability. They give them loans, heavy loans, and then they put heavy interest. So ultimately that nation is not able to produce and give back the loans, hence it ends up giving its sovereignty. So that is one point how it captures. And also to counter China's CPEC and the string of pearls, India is developing a necklace of diamond. That is, it is occupying ports in Iran, Seychelles. It is making the bases in Oman, in Mongolia, in Vietnam. So that is how we are strategically, doing counter against the Chinese aggression and Chinese strategy.
Not only that, our
And
military exercises on the like proper sequence every year. It's also increasing our relationship with each and every country, which is like in our favor. So it will help to counter our
I
like
would
counter
like to add a
Pakistan and
point to
China.
Shorya. I would like to add a point to Shorya what he said, that how China captures the territories, how it captures the nation. So basically, he claimed about his ancient territories, that we had ruled over that particular region or particular territory. They just bluff about that thing, and they try to dispute over them. That's the major reason of how they are capturing so many territories.
I would like to add point to Shaurya and Samarjit point about capturing of Chinese. China follows the principle of Mao. He is the father of China. According to his theory, he believes on divide and rule policy, but India is standing its ground and not letting them divide any area and let them occupy it.
Adding to the previous speaker's point, I would like to say China also focused properly on the technique of salami slicing technique, where it take under the territory of other countries. For example, like Nepal, Bhutan is also like that they consider Tibet to be their part, our LOCs, and Pakistan's part as well. So like this also, they focus on the weakened countries and take the territories and to counter India.
Also
And
to
one of the
counter
thing I
that,
would like
I
to
think
add.
India should develop and boost its relations diplomacy with ASEAN nations. That is Association of Southeast
We
Asian
should
Nations.
find allies
So
in our
all
neighbors.
these nations, because China have a strong hold and strong diplomacy with these nations, and these are the major Asian economies. So if India needs to improve their diplomacy to counter China, so that it
Adding to the
effectively.
point of Shaurya, I would also like to mention that India should also develop its maritime securities. If they are developing their maritime, if they are developing good ports and improving counter-attacking China, like developing string of pearls, it will definitely help India to counter and become a superpower, and also
Yeah,
act like a big brother.
It's like Sri
And
Lanka
not only
I
that,
think
we
the
are also
string of
focusing
diamonds
on our
perfect.
aircraft carriers. So
automatically
as we have
convention.
seen, Arihant, is Arihant, right?
Yeah, INS.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Hence Vikrant and Vikramaditya.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm very
Vikramaditya.
sorry.
Prasad. Prasad, you had something to add. Prasad, go on.
Yes, Arthik was saying that that option that China is taking also uh, ports of Sri Lanka like Hambantota port, and it will for our Indian Navy also.
So basically, Hambantota, what they do, that they give them they lend them money at high interest, and claim over their territory if they are unable to pay that. And due to with this strategy, they have captured many ports like Hambantota port, and also near that Malacca Strait. I don't remember that port
Yeah,
name.
Lavjeet.
India to counter China have launched these Indian carrier groups. That is a group of navy ships. For example, this what we mentioned just now, INS Vikrant and INS Vikramaditya. for the power projection, and it is for the security of the Indian Ocean region, and which is moving in the south, in the Indian Ocean region and the Pacific Ocean region.
All right,
And
Lavjeet, you
not
had
only
Great,
that,
mentioned.
great. Sagar,
Okay,
I think
Lavjeet.
Sagar
So
Mala
we know
project
that
is also,
the
I can also
major
second that.
Chinese aggression is in the Indian Ocean or in the South China Ocean, because in the Himalayas it is actually that we have seen less aggression from Chinese army, due to high altitude. Chinese soldiers are unable to climb up to there uh, and show their aggression towards Indian borders. So the major Chinese aggression is seen in naval. So we should improve our navies and ports.
Also,
and
they
not
are
only
I
that,
like
developing
to
Bharat
at
take
a
Mala,
the
very
support
Bharat
of
Mala
the
project
they are
also.
developing
Quad is
at a
also
very
there,
major rate.
which consists of US, Japan, India, and one more country, which is made to tackle this Chinese influence over the southeast region, and its expanding foreign policy.
Also,
I would
India
like to mention
needs
one
to
thing
push
that
itself for UN
India is
permanent
developing.
membership, since China has been
China.
voting against definitely the for Masood Azhar and Sahid Mujib and all the militants or militant organization. China has always been voting against us by using the veto power. So India
Yes.
pushing for permanent membership of the UN, that will also majorly boost India's stand against China.
Okay,
But
I'll
in
come
Not
I
to
would
you,
only
like to
that,
Lavjeet.
mention a point
to
that
take in
solar
favor
industry
the
is totally
Asian
dependent
countries, to
upon the
take in favor of the
84%
Asian
of the total
countries
issue.
under the
So the
national
issue is
education
the country
policy, we are
faces that
bringing the foreign colleges or universities to India that will help our relations with Asian countries. So
Okay,
that will also help to counter China.
Sarthak
Sarthik, you
quickly,
had a point.
and then Lavjeet, it's you. Sarthak quickly.
I was saying that India is totally dependent upon China on solar industry. 85% of the solar requirements of the upcoming national solar project is through imports of China. So developing in India would definitely help all other countries to also import from India, and they can easily gain a trust between the different countries.
All right, Lavjeet. Lavjeet,
yeah,
yeah.
go on.
As told by the Sathik about the maritime security in the while the Modi was on ground in the US meeting, about the UAVs will be taken up by the India by 2024, and it is having very good reconnaissance uh, skills, and it can fly around 36 hours, and it is a very good opportunity for improve its maritime security.
Okay, Shaurya, yes.
Also, one of the major major tactics by which we can defeat China is you make in India product. Like we you should use majorly like small products. Even if we use com and small products, if we start making use of make in India, it will not only boost the small scale industries of India, but it will majorly affect the major production of the Chinese, because most of this comes from China. These are made in China products. That will directly affect the Chinese economy.
I think I'd like to add a point to Shaurya's speech or point. So he was saying that we should promote Make in India more, but since we can't cut off the Made in China products suddenly, it will take
I was
to
saying
implement
gradually.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, to implement Make in India, that's a long term plan. So we can't tackle China very quickly. So in order to do this quickly, we have to come up with modernization in our defense forces, because we have seen that China have been violating airspace of different countries, Taiwan, sometimes it's Japan. So we should develop our air forces as well, because in those particular altitude where soldiers can't reach, it is only the jets. So we should as we have seen that HAL is a
Yeah,
stealth fighter
adding to
AMC.
Krutik's point, I think modernization is one factor that will majorly affect India's, diplomacy and India's sovereignty against China. Also, since a lot of modernization has been going on, we are buying the Rafale M aircrafts for replacing the old age MiG 29K of the Indian Navy. So that is also and various other we have modernization program for not only Navy, Army, Air Force as well.
Yes, also, we must never forget that having license produced thousands of aircraft, aero engines, ships, tanks, diesel engines, and electronic avionic devices. Also, Russian, British design at home. We fail to ensure that our technical accepts also. This time around, we must incorporate clear guarantees to ensure that value additions.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Devan, fruitful discussion. Can we come conclude with the leads? We're over time now.
Okay, so first thing I'd like to add is that since our main problem is China, so in order to come up with solutions, we can come up with the First thing is that we have to improve our cyber securities, because we've seen that China uses its technological advancement in wars. And second thing is that we have to modernize our forces so that we can avoid them from entering or violating our airspaces and showing its aggression. Third thing is that uh, as earlier that Shaurya has said, that we have already started with the necklace of diamond to tackle the necklace of pearl. Yeah.
String of pearls. Okay. Very quickly, Anita, and conclusion in terms of towards one of the leads, right? That's what I mean. Anita, yes.
Yes, as all of us believe that uh, China will, in a way, dominate South China Sea because it wants to become the next superpower after America. And through various initiatives like Border Road Initiative and CPEC, it has given huge loans to the countries, especially the neighboring countries of India, to trap them in the system where they are unable to come out of that uh, situation and uh, ultimately losing the sovereignty of their nation. Uh, The second thing that I want to point out that China is denying all the international laws. If we see it in South China Sea, it is not taking any of the international laws, like International Court of Justice uh, gave the verdict to stay out of the economic zones of other countries, that China is in dispute with other like around 13 countries in the South China Sea, but it has like blatantly denied those laws. And I believe if in India's position, India could assert it can make better relations with ASEAN's, with its policy of look east. Now India needs to actively act east. It has to pursue its act east policy, and I think it has to make stable relations with ASEAN as well as with its neighbors, because it's that when we have stable relations with our neighbor countries, I think it helps in the growth and development of a nation.
Okay.
And
Thank you. Yes, yes.
So
But China is
I would like to
making a conflict and LAC. Why we should
I
make
would
a
like to give
relation?
the concluding points as of first thing we should do that increase our labor work power, because we cannot tackle China in terms of development, in terms of the that market capture is basically the our work power. So China's labor work power is much more than India's. This is the first point. And the second point I would like to add, that Sagar Mala project and Bharat Mala project, they also they are two the crucial initiatives of India, which can easily tackle the which will tackle that the China's dominance of the South Asia. Like from the Bharat Mala project, we can easily deploy our army onto the borders, and through the Bharat Mala Sagar Mala project. Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal's connectivity will be increased. And third point is the Vibrant Village program. That Vibrant Village program is also crucial, is a role player in that, in tackling the China's dominance over Indian territories and other territories. So, and another point I would like to add, that like China gives loans to another countries and claims on their territories. So India should have dialogue to that those countries to give them loans, and if before to tackle China. That's what I would like to conclude.
Okay.
Also, one more point that I wanted to add is India should actively pursue the military alliances with Japan in South China Sea, Japan, America, France, because and also Quad, so that there is a pressure always built on China that there is some powers to counter it. There are some powers to counter it.
I agree with Anita, and we are already doing it. But the main issue in coordination is all different nation navy is having different kind of communication system. So right now we are facing the issue of communicating with each other at same frequency while operating in South Ocean.
All right.
Like USA Navy have different kind of equipment, and Indian Navy have different kind of equipment. That is the main issue. So we are streamlining it.
I'd
हाँ
like to come to three short conclusions from this discussion.
Yes.
First is
Towards the.
modernization.
Yes. 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 Go
Yeah,
on.
yeah. So first is the modernization in our forces. Second is seeing making allies in our neighboring countries. Third is that advancement in our technological fields and cyber security.
So the lead that we
You have already mentioned that, I think.
yes, yes, that's what he's concluding. And okay, so the lead towards which the discussion actually went was influencing the economy of India. Of course, we touched every point, but like we pretty much agree on that, which was a great and fruitful discussion. Thank you, everyone. And you may take like just 1 minute break, just drink water if you want to, and then we'll head towards our second topic. All right.
Hello, Samarjit. I'm just asking, like, what is basically the Sagar Mala and Bharat Mala project? What is that actually?
So,
Supriti, can we do
Sagarmala
that
project
after
is to
this?
connect that peninsular India's ports. So there are 13 major ports in India. So Sagarmala project is basically to connect that points, and Bharat Mala project is to connect the border lines of the Pakistan borders and China border. You
Okay,
can more
like,
search on YouTube.
okay,
What
according to
was
you,
it?
we are actually
Basically, he meant that Sagarmala is connecting all the ports at coastline and improving it, and Bharatmala is basically improving and connecting all the road together. Am I right,
okay, like we
Samarji?
are
Yes,
strengthening our borders.
all the border roads together. It will tackle that
Improving
China's
connectivity
dominance,
basically.
Okay.
improving connectivity, yes, and improving that also. China would that China's aggression, China's dominance of India territories would also be tackled due to that, because these roads are much closer to their borders. So China cannot forcefully in future cannot forcefully uh, I can't say
Dominance.
dominance. किसी पे
in
अपन हक जताना,
dominant
किसी पे अपन हक
dominant
जताना, तो कैन नॉट,
हाँ
मतलब
समझ गए।
वो अपनी डोमिनेंस नहीं
overpower
बता सकता अपने उस पे,
overpower
यस, ओ कैन नॉट
okay
ओवर पावर दैट
okay
इंडियन टेरिटरीज,
so Preeti
because they
was
are
just
much
asking
closer
about
to a border.
so Preeti was asking about a project to Samarji. That's it. So everyone, I request you to come back, please, and we're heading towards the next discussion, which is on a social issue. So I'll be saying the topic. Also, I'll be sharing it with all of you. But in any case, if you want me to repeat, do let me know. All right. So the topic is the education system has become a business in India. What should be done to improve the level of education in India? And the leads are number one, completely privatizing education. Number two, eradicating reservation and giving chance to talent. And number three, adopting the Western education system to enhance the education system. Clear? Want me to repeat anyone? You want me to repeat? Okay. So
You can give one more lead, I think.
no, these are enough. The education system has become a business in India. What should be done to improve the level of education in India? Number one, completely privatizing education. Number two, eradicating reservation and giving chance to talent. And number three, adopting the Western education system to enhance the education system. I'm sharing the image with you and we may start the discussion.
So actually, it is seen that in Western countries or in developed countries that you see the government colleges and government schools are there. Like 90% of the schools or and university or any kind of educational institutions are basically government owned, and there are less schools which are private owned. So we should promote these kind
Yes.
of things in India so that we can improve our educational institutions, because when it comes to private educational institutions, most of them are like uh, collect a lot of fees from students or their families, and which actually I don't think so that is necessary. And also and it is not the problem of like the citizens, because they are trying to choose a best education for the children, and which is I think provided in private, and coming to government schools, these are less in numbers, and the quality of education is pretty less.
I would
Yeah, so
like to, Krutik, I would like to add a point to your point that you are saying that education quality in government school is pretty less, but I don't think so, because you have heard about the model schools. In model schools, I've also studied from a model school. It is completely English medium, and CBSC board. It is made last year.
yes, Samarjit,
So I
yes, Samarjit, that is why I have mentioned majority, most of them.
like Indian government is slightly moving towards that point already.
Of course, we are working towards our goal, but coming to in my southern part of India, it is actually seen that most of the government schools are actually located in a very bad places, like around village areas, and there is actually sometimes there is no transport to those places which are like away from villages, like 20 kilometers away from your place.
Great
Like
points by Kruplik and Samarji, but I would like to add a point that main focus should be on promoting skill development. If we emphasize on vocational trainings and internships, I think this will develop the this will boost the education
Yeah,
system,
I think
as well as
Sarthik has got a
it will
point.
I
lead to
think
the industrial
Karthik,
development
uh,
also.
Sarthik's
I
point
think
is
what is
like
Karthik is
very
saying that
valid, since we can focus more on the practical part of the study instead of the ratification that has been going on in
Correct.
the education of a country. May more is skill based and more practical, because if we compare if Indian and the Western education system, if we check, we both we the difference main difference lies is there is more practical kind of study there. Students have practical application of the concepts, whereas there's more like old systems and traditions have been going on. Plus we can, since this is a digitally growing world, majority systems should inculcate the digital kind of study, where use of AI and other things should also be taught to the students from a very young age, since the future generation will be much more technologically driven.
Gentlemen,
According
according
like
to me, we should
gentlemen, according to me, we are already working on that points. because as you can see, everybody heard about the new education policy, which is 5, 3, 3 and 4. So in the word that we are not ought to study all the subjects. We can choose our one particular subjects and uh, can have a degree in that. And we also it is mentioned that we can also add as a government also mentioned that skill development courses in that new education policy. So I
Purely
think
Gentlemen,
because
And
that
according
there
to me, we
as a
should
the,
major
the
agree
according
with
to
the
me, I
reservation
would
reservation.
add, he
the
mentioned about
reservation in
the
education also plays a
technology.
major role.
Okay, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also reservation in education also plays a major role. Why
yes.
you see the major country drain is happening, because most of our talented youth is migrating towards the Western US based countries, and they're performing well there. Reason being because of reservation. I think reservation should be there, but they should be proper checks, because there have been instances where people who are much more wealthy in terms of that, they're since they belong to particular section of the society, they are taking advantage, whereas there should be proper checks
No,
in order to
no. Now the
identify
Adding to
the
competition.
Shaurya,
Now
I would like
there
to
are
add,
competition
based on a
so
national education policy of 2020, we have seen that from ninth standard, we are introducing coding to the children. So it is not just after 11, 12, they are taking computer science, but from 9. So that will increase the base. And so digitalization will also help, and our youth will also learn like in a great way. And also I want to add one point, as our previous speaker have mentioned, that are most of the youth are after 12th, they are going out, they're investing much more money and choosing the different countries and like western countries. So that's why on the national education policy, our in like India is bringing foreign universities to India. So that will also help for like education will be much cheaper and more effective.
Gentlemen,
I would like
according
to
to me,
mention
we
a
should
point.
remove the reservation system completely, because if we remove reservation system completely, we will have chance to we can give chance easily to talented person. It could be from village or anything, and government can support them by providing 100% scholarship.
I would like to add one point to Naresh that we like government introduced the EWS quota, economical weaker section. So I think, in my opinion, that reservation for EWS should be more than SC/STs, because in the today's time, SC/ST are like much more developed, and they don't need that quota in general, because in also that I think EWS seats should be increased rather than just focusing on SC/ST.
I agree with Samarjit completely. And reservation was brought at 90s era, and I don't think that it is a must in
Yeah, it
20th
was for some
century
particular
era.
years only, but
Extended
now it
for
has been
2026.
actually,
extended.
actually,
So
what's
the
the thing is
extension, if we see,
due
it
to
will keep on
due
going
to
if
now,
we won't
as
work
Saurya
towards
said,
eradicating it.
Okay.
Sure, I
Yes.
agree with you. It is
as Saurya
completely
said that
politics.
the
Yes,
computer
Prasad.
system has bring
So
the
let's not
computer
divert
system has
from the
bring very
let's not divert from
clarity.
the yeah.
Wait, Samar, wait. Yes,
The
Prasad,
computer
you were saying
system
something.
is very clarity in all state has making analysis of which kind of strategy should be uh, taken in their states, and all states governments are studying on that thing also for which changes should be happen,
Anika,
and
yes.
so
I
they
would
are.
like to mention I would like to mention a point that if we encourage research and innovation, we are seeing that so many creators are born right now in this digital era. They're educating people, like on Instagram, whether it's Coursera. So many content creators are born. So I think we should encourage research and innovation as well. And I would also like to mention a point that teachers training should also take place. If teachers are trained, they will also give some good boost to students. So I think these are the two most important points also.
Absolutely.
And I
Anita,
think
yes, you had. Okay, Samar.
let Anita.
Internet issues. Go on, Samar. She's left the meeting.
I forgot my point. What was it?
I
It's okay.
think For a good example, we can take defense, because in defense services exam we see that there is no reservation system here, right? We select the people on basis of their skills, and on basis of their mentality, on the basis of their physical standards or mental standards. So this should be followed throughout all the country, so that
But
we
Kritik,
will
there
yes.
is a reservation in the Sipahi rank and Jawan ranks, but there is no reservation in officer rank exams. But there is a reservation in Jawan ranks
Got a
as well.
point
Thank you
here,
for
that Samarji,
enlightening
but
me, Samarji.
I would
Yes.
like to add a point
More
that I
Samarjit,
think
there is no relaxation and reservation in armed forces for your information, and it is only extended up to paramilitary. In
Yes.
armed forces, we give some relaxation to Pahadi people in like
That too till
their
the
height
age
and
of height.
Gurkhas.
width.
just
Height.
based on
Hmm.
height.
Gurkhas.
That's only.
To the geographical area that they belong, because the height that grows.
And there's a reason behind that, being that they come from that particular
मेरी
place,
आवाज ही नहीं
and they have good skills in terms of mountaineering or something like.
They have good stamina.
Yes.
They have good stamina.
Krutik, I
I
would
think
like to
we
add
are
a point
deviating.
that if we enhance career counseling services, I have seen that in colleges also, training and placement officers are not aware or also not aware about how they can how they can enhance the counseling services. So I think this can be improved, as well as I think financial aid should also be given to less privileged students.
Yes,
Also,
also,
government
there
also
And
is
provides
also
the
I
Swayam
think
courses are
I
education
distance
completely
learning
agree with
courses
education
Saurabh,
should
and
never
from
go
top
on
already
learning.
Indian
the
government has come up with different schemes so
अरे
that they
यार
can help the people who have less opportunities in pursuing higher education. Yes.
Yeah,
I
Anita, you
think
had a point.
I
Anita,
I
Anita,
think
go
there
ahead.
should. May I? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
sure.
think there should be reintroduction of Vedic knowledge in Indian education system. So what science is discovering now in India that had been discovered very early. For example, Aryabhatta, who
Arre bhai.
discovered zero.
Yes. Anita, I'd like to listen to you now. Are you here? Go on. Anita? Okay. Sure. Sure.
And one more thing, I think there should be there should be eradication of reservation in particular professions like uh, uh, which are really professional. For example, profession of medicine, doctors. You know, you cannot just send students who have who are not whose mind is not that good of those who are really meritorious. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Anita?
some kind of
since reservation
psychological skills
reservation
or
exists only in colleges, have you, because there's no reservation till 12th. There's no reservation, so we can also implement if there's
There is a
no
reservation.
reservation in
I
12th
think
till
there is a
12th.
reservation till 12th because as you see in Navodaya, in a Navodaya exam, there are seats reserved to SC and OBC classes. And that's the sixth level.
Okay.
Okay,
Anita?
Anita, please go ahead. She's
Yes.
trying to speak. Yeah, please,
Yes.
Anita. Hmm.
Hello,
Yes, Anita, go on.
am I audible?
Yes, 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 you
Yes,
are.
you are.
Yes. Actually, all of us are talking about a reservation. I believe reservation is based on social order and not economic order. If we see the social uh, ability of those people, they had been downtrodden from many years and they are not able to come up with the level that the other castes we believe they are in. They feel they have the kind of psychological pressure on them, so we cannot. Yes, it is true that some people are financially well off. They should be asked to, leave reservation on their own rather than removing reservation, all the reservation, because there are people wherein we can see that there are some sections of society if we see tribals and SC/STs, the amount of education and awareness have not reached that that it has to reach even after the
Anita,
years.
Anita,
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't
I
think
mentioned.
it is any issue anymore right now.
Yeah.
It
No,
was a issue in
no,
90s era. They are pretty
no,
much
I
more
know, I
developed
know
than
because
general category people,
I
I think. And
think
education वाला issue ज़्यादा कोई बड़ा नहीं है.
No,
Education
I
system
would
is
I
also
quite
agree
like
with
to
improved, and
No,
no,
when
Anita.
is
education is
ending,
I would like
there
to
for
should be
all
point
proper
people
checks and
right now.
proper
if
system to
we
keep
see the
in
data,
check.
if we see the data,
Friends, you all have given great points, but I would like to mention a point that if we improve school inspections or college inspections, I think this is more important. Like how we can improve, how we can include inspections in schools. So this will maintain a proper procedure. So I think this is also important point.
yes,
Basically,
giving
Sarthak, I agree
people
with you. I want to add up a point.
is
Basically, we
important.
can do
At the
upgradation
same
of
time, we have to
infrastructure.
Okay, I have one point that the private institutions, for example, like an academy, is offering courses, for example, of UPSC, civil, CDS, and nursing, and also this air hostess course. You know, it should focus more on its basic, like it started from UPSC courses, so it should focus on one thing. This is it's you know uh, main thing should be, main focus should be on one thing
Like
instead
focus
of
on
deviating
quality.
on a lot of
Yeah, like
I
focus
think
on quality
Quality
in
mostly
areas.
quality over
why
quantity.
the education system has become a business, because I think if we increase the capability of our school teachers, as mentioned by Sarthik, by their training and better training, so we would not be, liable to go to tuitions, because what most of the people do, they're studying in school as well as they're studying in tuition. But what's the use of school when you have to take tuitions, right? So
exactly, exactly.
school system should be, there should be proper training and better training, and there should be a proper system where teachers are trained in a better manner, so that
We have also
students
seen
don't
that
have to opt for tuitions.
we have also seen that in government recruitments there is a lot of corruption. We have seen in case of West Bengal and Bihar, the teachers are not at all that capable of teaching students, and at the same time, there are cases where we have seen that teachers are not at all gone to school to teach, and somebody else was coming at their place, and they were just having their handsome salary. At the same time,
I've,
teacher student ratio in our country is also not that,
I agree with Amit.
and
So
I
also
would like.
Sorry, I
I
agree
would,
with you as you said about education, but I think education is not a business anymore. It was business up to the year 2014, but after the introduction of Geo,
yeah.
education got more open source, and education is available at YouTube and other OTT platform
I
easily.
I agree
And
with your point, but see, if you see institutions like Physics Wala, Akash, Fitji, these are making crores of money from students. Had there
they are
been a
making it,
proper system of our school,
But they
but
are
it
students
had
would not
led
have
to
been
they
reduction
spending
in the
lakhs and
course
lakhs on
prices.
their
to invest more
tuitions
yeah,
of
than
for Fitji
25,000
and JE.
rupees.
but if you check their
obviously
Sorry,
Sorry,
I
I
agree
agree
with your
with you,
point.
but
I'd
it
like
had
to also add a
led to
point.
the
reduction of
quality of
prices.
not that
education
much.
increases.
They're
The
providing
quality of
education at
any
very
thing,
low cost, and also
the
they're
co-
providing at
the
at
reason of low cost
very
is
comfort
the
zone.
competition in the market. A lot of ed tech companies came up with Physics Wala. That was the reason of the lesson prices of the courses, but at the same time a lot of free material is present everywhere, and it becomes difficult for students to follow a lot of things, and they end up you know finding out a lot
I
of
would like to
mistakes
add point to
Now,
Anita.
see, reason
Anita,
is
I
Uh,
agree with
what
you,
if
and
a school had good teachers,
Naresh,
they are not
I
satisfied with
want
their
to say that
paychecks,
as
and
Anita,
they eventually drop out and they start their own coaching. So now, what eventually is there, that good teachers, they drop out, they start their own academies, and people, students, because they understand more, they go to there, so they avoid the schooling. So that, and a lot of
Yes,
students take your
also
dummy in 11, 10, 12
due
to
to
prepare for G, yeah, IIT, JEE, and all these AIMS exams. So if
and
our
it is
education
also
I
system
want to
would
add
not
a
be
point
doing
to
that.
Anita's point
due,
that Anita
due
said
to
that
all those things
Anita said that
we are seeing that
the reason for
due to all those things Samarjit, just a minute.
Yes, Samarjit, please go
Due
ahead.
to all those educational online sites and online education systems are making a shortcut of those notes and also of books. Due to that, they are misguides and not having complete knowledge also. That is
Ev-
some kind of
Okay,
some
everyone,
message you make.
I'll just highlight one concept, which I think, in my opinion, this is out of my personal experience. Just
I want to add a
okay,
point to
Samar, go
Anita.
on,
Like
go on.
Anita said that physics wala's rates are low due to the competition. But I think that physics wala thinking is that he when he initiated his channel, he completely provided the studying free, and after he hired some teachers, it is obvious to make it is obvious to
Monetize things,
monetize things, and to उनके लाइक टीचर्स के घर भी चलाने होते हैं तो
right?
उनके लिए
To
वही
increase the reach, to increase the reach of the
Samarjit,
students.
Samarjit, I agree with you, but I think competition is a good thing, right? It have reduced the cost of
but
education, and
but one day Samarji,
after coming of internet, the monopoly of few institute like Akash, Fitji, and few more institute have reduced.
yes,
Naresh, you know,
I agree with
we are talking, when we talk about these fancy institutions, no, we're talking about the elite classes who can actually afford them. Let's talk about northeastern states in India. Do you think in these remote areas, absolute remote areas, when COVID hit real badly,
Absolutely agreed with you, Anchal.
we can't even reach, the technology cannot reach. And you know, there's a concept of hyper visibility that actually kicks in. Even
So
all the
it is a
sciences,
plus point now for internet that it is easily available and
It's a
reachable to
remote.
all the area,
it is,
anytime, anywhere.
but internet is not available everywhere, and not everyone, every single person in this country can afford the internet, because we
Government
have,
of India is working on it.
yes,
and
exactly,
yes,
precisely
and
why teacher.
the like e-libraries are open everywhere. I think many e-libraries are open,
And
and there
India
is
has also
free
initiated
internet.
various programs like
Jio is working on expanding its network, and BSNL have introduced air fiber.
all the classes on government channels, Rajya Sabha TV, I suppose. The classes of all the content of all the classes was online, and it was broadcasted through uh, to all the people. So
So
I think
thanks to the initiative of SSB Bro.
initiative that was taken by the government. Also, I think go ahead. I wanted to.
I think encouraging parents' involvement is also one more important point because
Yes,
parents' involvement is education is a critical and effort should be made to encourage parents to take an active role in their children's education. And this could involve holding parents teacher conference and like workshops, training sessions with parents and also provide resources to parents to help their children with the homework.
And also allowing children to find out their interest and to encourage them to involve in all kind of extracurricular activities so that they can really develop any kind of skill and their interest and they can pursue that.
okay.
Achal, I think we should conclude our
Yeah,
GD now, and we should summarize our points.
I think we have,
Like, but it is not meant to be concluded. I think
you don't have to
just
come
Concluded.
down
You
to
just,
any
you just
specific conclusion. Whatever discussion has happened so far was very fruitful, very, like, I have personally been noting down points, so I think we're
I
pretty much done.
think
If anyone wants to add, yes, Shrey.
yes, I think school should include sessions in which uh, the students' mind should open and should they should start thinking logically about why are things happen. For example, these days companies like MNCs like Byju's and other etc. are doing hardcore marketing where they are targeting students to buy their course. They are doing that very aggressively. So they should have all the options in front of them and choose the right option considering all of them,
Yeah, okay.
not blindly.
Yes, adding to
I
your
think I
point,
have one more point.
schools
Uh,
should encourage practical knowledge because it is often seen that whenever we have lab periods or practical periods or games period, teachers often take it for theory classes. So I'm of the opinion that practical knowledge should also be increased in schools.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Rohit.
And I think improving assessment and evaluation is one of the important point because assessment and evaluation is a critical component in education system. Because if we have not give a right assessment to the particular children, that will not help that children in future. And I think from the teachers, it is mandatory to be the assessment and evaluation system to be work on it and improve it more and give feedback to their parents also and give feedback to the performance of child day to day or maybe they can conduct in weekly or monthly.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. So I
Actually,
think
we
we're
can
pretty
learn
much.
from Western. Yeah, I'd like to add a point. So I was saying that in Western education system, we have seen that students are also taught about investment in stocks and other things which can actually which actually you can use in your day-to-day lives. I don't think any of us have used a Pythagoras theorem in our real life situations.
Definitely.
So that is one reason how we should learn from Western education
Yes.
systems.
Yeah,
I
like
agree
topics
with
like
Pratik.
finance. Yeah.
In Western region, there is earn and learn system actually.
Yeah. And certainly, I think,
Yes,
in my
they are
opinion,
also
also
taught
topics like
how
sex
how they can do
education
side
and
jobs and they can pay their own fees.
yeah,
They are actually trying to be self-dependent at a very
young age.
lower age, yeah,
Yeah.
young age. At the age of 17, 18, they find themselves jobs and they pay their own fees. And I think that is a great initiative taken by students
All right.
that can any individual take.
All right. Thank you. Thank you,
If,
everyone.
if we go back to 1980s, there was a committee named Ramadan Committee, which was there to check upon the creamy layer of the backward classes. So I think there should be more committees like that to recognize who are not backward anymore. You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's the only concept for economic weaker section. I think, but that's the point I like. Economically weaker section should be on more priority than SCSTs.
I think
Okay.
one
Okay.
more point is here. Encouraging and lifelong learning is must be there because not only to schools, because nowadays the education is just to score higher marks in class
Yes.
in many schools, but I think there is must a career counseling according to the child interest to be conducted in the schools and the sessions and the training and vocational training and encourage their skills by assessing them.
I
All right.
think there should be
Can
more
we?
of counseling sessions in schools and institutions. It would help students realize their strengths and weaknesses, and also enlighten how to, go forward with their careers and what education they can pursue.
All right. I think we've had a fruitful discussion, so we can end this one here. So I'll be stopping the recording now. 1 second.